There's a strange truth about World War II that many people, even dedicated history lovers, tend to overlook. While we focus heavily on the weapons, the armies, and the massive geopolitical struggles, we often forget that ordinary civilians across Europe and Asia were fighting their own quiet battles at home. Not with rifles or armoured divisions, but with simple, brutally effective defence techniques designed to delay, confuse, and stop intruders long enough to survive another day. And what's truly fascinating is that one of these forgotten systems is still used today, still effective, still proven, and still capable of protecting anyone who understands it. This isn't nostalgia or historical trivia. This is a living piece of WWII ingenuity that you can apply right now in real life without any fantasy, exaggeration, or gimmicks. Today on History Reborn Alive, we're digging deep into a home defence method born in the chaos of 1939 to 1945 that remains one of the smartest, most overlooked and most practical security strategies ever created. The real secret of World War II home defence was layered obstruction rather than confrontation. During the war, most civilians had no access to firearms, no formal training, and no luxury of advanced technology. Their survival depended on buying time. Governments across Europe began producing civilian defence manuals that emphasised delaying intruders instead of trying to overpower them. They understood that the average person could not win a direct fight against soldiers, looters, saboteurs, or opportunistic criminals. What they could do, however, was slow them down using obstacles that cost almost nothing but created massive psychological and physical resistance. One of the most effective methods was the strategic layering of choke points, barriers, and reinforcements inside the home. The concept is simple. Instead of relying on one strong lock or one fortified door, defenders created multiple small obstructions that forced an intruder to expend time, energy, noise, and patience. Every locked interior door, every repositioned piece of furniture, every improvised barricade was part of a system. This wasn't chaos, it was engineering through scarcity. The principle of depth defense inside civilian homes remains just as powerful today. Today, modern security experts still teach the same strategy under a different name. Defence in depth. It's the exact same logic British, French, Polish and Soviet civilians used when their cities became battlegrounds. The goal is not to make your home an impenetrable fortress, but to make it a slow, noisy, frustrating puzzle for anyone who tries to break in. The more layers you add, the more likely an intruder abandons the attempt, gets detected, or loses the element of surprise. For example, during the Second World War, families would place heavy wardrobes just a few feet behind their doors, not blocking them entirely, but positioned so the door could only open a crack. That tiny gap, you see, forced intruders to stop, shove, adjust their angle and, well, expose their hands and arms, giving defenders a bit of precious time to escape or call for help. Even now, homeowners use similar tricks by placing shelves, consoles or reinforced dressers behind entry points. The physics hasn't changed since 1941. A delay is still a delay, and a delay is still a defence. One forgotten Second World War technique that still works is the use of audible early warning obstacles. Civilians who lived through occupation understood something modern folk sometimes forget. The most valuable asset in a home invasion isn't strength, it's time. To buy it, many households rigged simple objects, bottles, metal cups, scrap tin, or even loose gravel, to make noise when disturbed. These weren't traps, but alarms that needed no electricity and never failed because of weather or sabotage. Today, this same method is quietly used by security professionals and rural homeowners who want a bit of redundancy. For instance, placing a line of river stones along the inside of a fence path or setting a metal bowl near a normally undisturbed window frame gives you an instant audio cue if someone tries to slip in. You aren't recreating the Second World War. You're using a timeless principle that outlives every technological trend. So, understanding why these techniques worked in the Second World War, well, it actually teaches us, how to use them effectively today. One of the best examples comes from Dutch resistance families who needed fast escape options. They would barricade front doors lightly, just enough to slow intruders, but keep back windows unblocked to allow a clean exit. The key wasn't just creating obstacles, it was placing them with intention. Applied today, the same logic means placing your strongest obstructions between an entry point and the hallway leading to bedrooms not near the living room where you spend most of your time. You're shaping movement, forcing intruders into predictable channels where they lose speed and surprise. A reinforced bathroom door, for example, may seem odd until you realize it can serve as a secure fallback point while you call authorities. WWII taught civilians that intruders fear uncertainty. When a door resists more than expected, when movement is constricted, when noise gives away their position, the balance shifts. Historical documents from occupied Warsaw describe burglars abandoning houses simply because interior locks were too inconsistent, or furniture placement didn't allow a clean sweep of rooms. That same hesitation affects modern criminals who depend on speed and confidence. A delay of even 10 seconds can trigger doubt, and doubt is often the breaking point. Applying this knowledge today gives you a historically tested, low-cost security advantage. If you want to implement the WWII method in a practical, modern way, start by walking through your home the way an intruder would. Every doorway, every transition, every dark corner becomes part of a sequence. Add friction to that sequence. A second lock on an interior door. Heavier furniture along narrow corridors. A noise-making object on a windowsill seldom used. Nothing exotic, nothing illegal, nothing dramatic, just smart placement rooted in real historical survival practice. If this deep dive into the forgotten WWII home defense method sparked your curiosity, subscribe to History Reborn Alive for more overlooked insights, raw historical truths, and practical knowledge drawn straight from the past. Share this video with fellow historians and survival-minded friends, and keep the conversation alive. History is full of lessons. The more we uncover them, the stronger and smarter we become.